Hello, and welcome back to episode 8 of the Shattered Relics League. We're going to kick off this episode with a long AFK grind. At this point, I needed to have some downtime, so I decided to go to Karambwans. With the Personal Banker and the Greedy Gatherer enabled, this is an insane amount of fishing and cooking experience, and also just an insane amount of food that I'll have for the rest of the league. So I figured now was the perfect time to just go ahead and get it done. I actually was using Catch of the Day as well to get some extra loot here, and that paid off. In the end, I didn't wind up leaving until I got 99 cooking and 99 fishing, but that really only took around about 6 or 7 hours of AFK time. This is just an absolutely ridiculous amount of experience, seriously. Part of me wishes it wasn't quite so fast because I could keep coming back here for a while, but honestly it's not too bad, and there's more AFK things that I can do in the future anyway. With that out of the way, I figured it was time to finally jump into Slayer. After unlocking Tier 6, we can choose our tasks, and therefore Slayer is effectively unlocked. It's not super worth doing before that. One thing I wanted to do before I really jumped in was complete King's Ransom for the massive 12 times experience boosted rewards, both from the quest itself and from the Knight's Wave training grounds. And in the process, actually unlock Chivalry, thanks to the experience lamp you get from the quest as well. So that'll be very useful as we move forward into Slayer. Of course, the best way to start any melee grind is to go to the Warriors Guild and try to get the Dragon Defender. And that's no exception here, except this is made extremely efficient by the fact that I can choose a Hill Giant Slayer task and get Slayer experience while I'm here, so I'll definitely be doing that and gain a lot of passive Slayer experience. I did wind up taking a small detour when my cat had finally grown to complete RFD and finally get Barrows gloves. There's 2 subquests you need to complete that aren't auto-completed, freeing the Lumberjack Guide, which is really easy, but freeing Evil Dave requires a couple of quests that aren't auto-completed and a fully grown cat, so that's something to keep in mind if you don't have that yet. Definitely a little annoying, but glad to have it out of the way. Obviously, Barrows gloves are one of the most iconic and useful items in the game. Right around the time I got the Mithril or Adamant Defender is when I actually wound up getting 58 Slayer from the passive Slayer experience I was getting. And of course I wanted to head straight to the Cave Horrors and not waste any time on getting that Black Mask. So I headed there, grabbed a task of Cave Horrors, and started killing them. It wound up being pretty AFK, so I stayed there a long time and wound up walking away with 2 masks that I basically got back to back. It took me around 2 tasks to get one. Not really too bad though, and that will be one of the most useful items that we get for the entire game mode, so might as well get it knocked out now. Immediately following that, I wound up getting my first Hespori kill. No loot of note, but I will be doing these in the background whenever I can, just because it still might be useful, and they're so fast, might as well. Finally returning to the Warriors Guild, we get that coveted Dragon Defender at about 364 KC, which is pretty much on average. Unfortunately, the lower tier defenders are not boosted in rate, but the Dragon Defender is. This is something that was a problem last league and really should have been changed for this league, and hopefully Jagex will address in future leagues. I'm not complaining though, getting it on rate helped a lot. So with these out of the way, I figured it was time to finally start boosting some Slayer points. There are a couple unlocks I want before I really start grinding Slayer, and boosting points is the fastest way to get them. I wanted to start out by Turiel boosting, which is basically where you get 9 tasks from Turiel, and then you get a 10th task from a master like Steve or Duradel, and you get a ton of bonus points on those 10th tasks, so it makes sense to do it that way. You get done a lot faster. It is worth noting that you can actually get points even faster than Turiel boosting in this league by doing Wilderness Slayer with Cristelia at Spider Hill, but it wound up being so incredibly crowded there that I didn't even bother trying. I figured Turiel boosting would be more consistent. I was having so much trouble finding a world that didn't already have 2 or 3 people in it. But that's a lot faster in general because you get points for every task, not just every 10th. Instead, I stuck with Turiel boosting, and I actually started with Blessed Spiders. Doing Spiders is pretty fast because I have low numbers from Turiel, but Blessed Spiders are actually fairly slow to kill, so I didn't stay here too long, just got a little bit of bonus magic experience. And then I wound up heading to Minotaurs for the tasks that I got done really quickly. Turiel does 10 to 20 of these at a time, so it was incredibly fast with a cannon. Of course, using NPC contact in between to get additional tasks made this process so incredibly fast and easy. For the 10th tasks in between, I wound up doing baby black dragons in the Cavalry Dungeon. This was a pretty popular option for sure, because you only get like 10 to 20 again at a time, so it's incredibly fast to get those Slayer points. I think overall, over the course of about a 3-hour stream, I wound up getting all of the points I needed to buy the Slayer helmet and Bigger and Badder, which are the 2 unlocks that I wanted right off the bat. I also got a ton of easy and beginner clues from the Minotaurs, which will come in handy down the road for sure. So of course I wasted no time. I bought that Slayer helmet unlock, crafted that Slayer helmet, and then I needed money to imbue it. It was also at this point that I thought a cannon might be useful to have as well, so I did a lot of battle staff crafting in order to get the money required. Thankfully, battle staffs are really fast money in the league because of all the buffs you can get. I was getting well over 1 million GP an hour, so it really only took me a couple hours to get all the money I needed. If you weren't aware, you have to buy Nightmare Zone points in the league with GP, where 1 GP equals 1 Nightmare Zone point. So imbuing the Slayer helmet took me about 1.5 mil hard cash, which is a little difficult to get in the league, but thankfully battle stabs are an easy way to get it done. So with that out of the way, I actually went ahead and decided to actually start boosting my Slayer level, and I decided to do this at Dust Devils in the Wilderness. I didn't actually check, but I assumed the catacombs would be pretty crowded for Dust Devils, so I went to the Wilderness Cave, and it only usually took a couple worlds to find an open one. It was incredibly fast barraging these guys, of course, and getting a couple superiors here and there didn't hurt anything. Ooh, a Dust Battle Staff. That'll be really useful to have, actually. And I think it's a task to equip it. Yeah, bingo. Within an hour or two, I was up to 77 Slayer and was ready to boost to 85 with Unchained Talent to get a whip drop from the Abyssal Demons. I didn't think I would stay here very long. I was just kind of hoping I would get spooned one, and what do you know, I did. 35 KC in, I got the whip. That's incredible. Even with buff drop rates, it's still a 1 out of 170, so I was super happy to get this early. I took a quick detour after this point to kill Crazed Archaeologist for a Rune Crossbow, for a plan I had coming up in the near future. I wound up getting spoonded as well after about 10 KC. It was incredibly fast, though I don't think it was strictly necessary to come get it at this point. It's definitely nice to have out of the way, and there's a task you can get done for killing him, so nice little detour for sure. Following that, I actually wanted to get some Barrows done. This is the first PVM grind on the account now that the Slayer grind has been started. I was really craving some of those tier 7 unlocks from Barrows. I wound up going in with the Chain Magic and Endless Knowledge setup, where I changed Spellbook from Ancients to the Zaya Spellbook in order to teleport to Barrows and then use Ancients to actually kill the brothers, and it was very effective. I wound up not needing to use any supplies, and it was super straightforward. With the boosted drop rates, unsurprisingly, there was a lot of drops. Hey, Aram's Hood, one of the most useless items I could get, but it's still an item. Wow, that's a stack chest. Aram's robe skirt and Carl's leather top. Wow, jeez. These are the kind of chests that I like to have in the leagues. Oh man, that's so exciting. That's a straight upgrade for my leg slot. And this will come great in handy, I'm sure, at some point. Got a full barrel set in like 27 chests. In addition to this, I can actually get the Amulet of the Damned, and I can combine that with Double Tap, and that might be some fun, so I'm definitely going to be going to get one of those later. Jeez. Well, I'm definitely using Carl's for the fight caves. Good old actual 2007 style. Alright, so that's 50 Barrows chests. I didn't get everything I was looking for, but this is where I'm going to stop for now. Let's have a look and see at the total loot, though. And here's what we wound up with. Unfortunately, I never got a tank body. That's all I'm really missing, so I will be going back at some point to get it. I did get full Carls, though, with 3 crossbows and 2 coifs, whatever that's about. And I got a piece of Guthans, a Verax chain skirt, which I'm wearing, and a Verax helmet. All very nice stuff for sure. I think overall it was pretty successful. I just really wish I had that tank body. Following this, I actually wanted to go ahead and go to Dagenham Kings. No real reason, I just love Dagenham Kings. Now that I had some tier 70 equipment under my belt, I figured it was as good as time as any to go. Because you can get a Dagenham task and use it with the Slayer helmet accuracy and damage boost. It makes it pretty viable to do, even at a decently low level, such as where I am right now. I went up going in with Dragon's Touch and Absolute Unit, maxed out as much as I can, in order to just increase my survivability there. And of course, it was absolutely no problem. The only thing I was limited on was prayer potions. I had no problem with food at all. Of course, Prime was the biggest problem. I was unable to kill Prime fast enough to keep the rotation going, so I was often having to flick both Supreme and Prime at the same time. And this is not surprising, based on the fact that I only have a Carl's crossbow, and I only have 70 range. It's just not quite enough to out DPS Prime. But I'm decent at prayer flicking, so it worked out pretty well. I wound up walking away with all of the drops from Dagenham Kings, except for the Seer's Ring, which is kind of lame, but also I'm not super worried about getting it. So if I need to return, I will. Otherwise, I'll probably just ignore that I don't have it. And that all said, this is actually going to be where we go ahead and end today's video. Slayer has just been such a blast, and I'm so looking forward to where things will go from here. As we continue to unlock things, we'll just be unlocking more and more PVM grinds, which is the side of the game that I have not had enough chance to experience yet, and I'm so excited to dig into more. Of course, this video would not be possible without the support of those who have joined the channel. Thank you so much to all of our channel members, and a double huge thank you to OneKiller912 and Peepo Time for subscribing at that top tier. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.